This past weekend, I had an awesome example of how sometimes I get stuck in a pattern loop inside of my head, especially when it comes to trying to communicate something. So, I was helping out with an intuitive archery workshop. And one of the aspects when you pull the string back, loaded with the arrow, is that you find an anchor point someplace on your face. And as I was explaining that to one of my dear friends inside of the group, he said, "This anchor point, I don't really understand." He's Italian, and so I was trying to say, you find a spot somewhere on your face that you can hold to. And 3 or 4 times he was like, "This anchor, what is an anchor?" And I was thinking, like, what is anchor in Italian? Trying to think of all of these different things. And it probably took 4 or 5 rounds of this question and unsuccessful answering until I thought, okay, let's just stop trying to say, pointing to the same thing, touching my face and saying like this. What is another way that I can communicate this? And I said, when a boat wants to stay in one place in the water, it drops that thing down into the ground, into the water, so that it holds it in place. And immediately he throws up his hands and he goes, an anchor. The entire group was giggling, but it goes to show that, like so often, I can get stuck in thinking, well, the way that I'm explaining this or the way that I'm describing it is clear. They should be getting it. How often do we do that in our teams? Where we think, I'm explaining this to my colleague, why aren't they getting it? Are they like a little slow or something? Or especially with a partner. Those things that we might say again and again, and it just seems like it's not landing. This is one of those things that I work a lot with teams and with individuals on, is this aspect of pattern interruption. Because if we're going to be innovative, if we're going to make progress and grow and learn, we have to be willing to look at the patterns in our lives, the places that we often find ourselves saying, why is this happening again? Or, this keeps coming up again and again and again. Why is it not working? It's to look at those and to create a bit of space to be able to step back and say, okay, what is it that's actually happening? But the second question is most important. How can I put an input in differently that interrupts that pattern, that breaks the loop and introduces something new and novel that perhaps will give me a different result, maybe even the one that I'm looking for. So I'm wishing you some interesting observations on your patterns, to find some ways to get curious and to start seeing how you can interrupt those loops in order to get more of what you're actually looking for, and to find some new solutions to some old pattern problems.